Alright, what up, guys? It's your boy Vinaris Scott for KillaKrane Productions. This is my first live broadcast, actually, from my KillaKrane Productions page. Before I was doing it from my personal page, but I'm doing it from my KillaKrane Productions page now. If For those of you who don't or aren't familiar with my production studio, it's an amateur production studio, and we make short films. A few of them are up here. We got The Legend of Gomorrah. The Legend of Gomorrah, which is a series I've created. I've already created 3 episodes of that on YouTube. I do have plans on furthering that series to at least 10 episodes of the first season. I'm writing a book detailing those events too, as well, even for the episodes I've created so far. On top of The Legend of Gomorrah, I have, or my short films that I plan to create, I've also created a series of books. I have my first book that I have already released on Amazon. It's called Blackjack and the Beanstalk. Nice little urban comedy book, of course, as the name implies. It's a derivative of the story Jack and the Beanstalk, with a more urban twist. I have a new book coming out. It's about, all I can tell you right now is about a planet of cats and their religion and their relationship with another beings, some other beings on this planet. I'm not going to say too much right now. Excuse me. Just knock some over. Okay. Yeah, so we got my books. We got my short films. What else is going on? Pretty much it. And then I do Crane Talk every Tuesday here on Facebook, 7 p.m. I might move over to YouTube. I don't know. But right now I'm doing my Facebook thing. That has worked out well pretty good for me. And that's pretty much what I have going on. I did have a martial art class that I was teaching over the summer. I put that on a hold for right now. You know, it's mostly kids, and they needed a chance to basically get adjusted to school again, and I need a chance to work on my projects anyways. So I have a lot of them coming out, guys. I have a series of books. I have some screenplays that I've written. In order to create these productions, though, it does cost money. Everything costs money. And so I'm producing these things out of my own pocket as of right now. So these are all love projects. You know what I'm saying? Whether I want to, you know, bring them up to Hollywood level or whatever, that would be great. I'm kind of just letting things flow. I'm doing stuff for the love of filmmaking, for the love of story writing. I have so many stories that I would love to bring into fruition. Of course, I think I just mentioned this. No, I don't think I did. I have a YouTube page. It's called KillaKrane Productions as well. Please check that out. Of course, on YouTube. I have a number of videos. I have a series called Film Talk. I'll probably be changing that name in the future. But Film Talk, basically, anything dealing with film, either past or present. One of my first videos that I put on there was a discussion about the 3 seashells. If any of you have ever seen the movie Demolition Man, it's a movie that was set in the future, and the Sylvester Stallone character, not Simon Phoenix, I'm sorry, I forget the guy's name, but anyway, he's sent to this bathroom that's supposed to be in the future. Everything's supposed to be so clean and perfect and everything, and this bathroom only has 3 seashells, and they ridicule him because he asked for some toilet paper. And it was like, you know, back in his day, they did the barbaric thing of walling up paper and wiping their butts with it, and they're all laughing, and it was like, oh, he didn't know how to use the 3 seashells. And so a lot of people have speculated on how that works, and Sylvester Stallone and some of the writers of the movie said something to the effect of, it's on the video, you know, where they take the 3 seashells and they scrape it or whatever. I'm gonna let you guys watch it, and I have my own fan theory of how that would work in a futuristic society, and it's not as abrasive, I guess, as the way that the writers and Sylvester Stallone said it would work. So and I also made another video on there about the Coming to America sequel. And my idea for the Coming to America, I guess, would be the second sequel, because you have the original and then the first sequel and then the second sequel, and how that would work. It actually ties in a lot of loose ends that the sequel that we got didn't wrap up. I actually wrote it as the first sequel. Before I even heard that they were making a sequel to Coming to America, I had my own Coming to America sequel. And a lot of people were like, well, you're trying to replace the first sequel that Eddie Murphy made. And I was like, no, this could actually act as a second sequel. You know what I'm saying? What happened after the events that happened, the movie that he just released in 2021, earlier this year, that was on Amazon. So, was it on Amazon? Yeah, I think it was on Amazon Prime. Anyway, things like that, little creative ideas. I plan to do one. I've started working on it already, about Star Wars versus Star Trek and how I came into both of those franchises. In my opinion on which one's better or what have you. And of course, this is a live production, a live broadcast. So if you guys want to chime in, you can always do that. I'm looking up the number right now. You can always call in live. I put the live number up there in the description, but you can always call back at 470-865-2193. Feel free to call in at any time. I usually keep this phone on. It's a separate phone. I usually keep it on strictly, around the time of when I'm going to do my broadcast. But if you guys just leave a message or a text or something like that, that'll be fine, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you guys have any ideas, if you guys want to collaborate on something, like I said, my production studio is just an amateur deal as of right now. I mean, if it gets a little bit more popular, I'll do the LLC thing probably. But as of right now, this is just for the love of filmmaking and to collaborate ideas. So if you guys have an idea for a movie, TV show, whatever, we can collaborate on it. If you're just looking for something, let's just say if you're somebody who's bored and wanted to break into acting, I can help you with that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you deal with these other production studios, they see it, of course, it's a business. And, of course, a business has to hire people who are, very good at their craft. And they want the best of people so they can make more money. That's only fair. You know what I'm saying? But I do it for the love of filmmaking, so I'm not as strict, I guess, so to speak. As long as you come in there, have fun. There are going to be rules to follow. You will learn the ropes of what it takes to get productions done. I'm not saying like I'm an expert. I have been in a number of major motion pictures as a background actor. My first one was Black Panther. I had a wonderful time on there. I was one of the border tribe people, or border tribe citizens rather. You can see me in the Warrior Falls scene. It was really quick. I'm going to post a picture to that later, especially I put this on YouTube. I was there with my dashiki on, or the cloak that we had to wear, the big old blanket, and we had to drape it over us, and then, T'Challa, Wakanda forever, all that stuff like that. I'll post pictures a little bit later. It's also on my IMDb page. If you guys want to look that up under my name, Vinaris Scott. Vinaris, last name Scott, Scott. You can always look that up. Let me see. I've done several of them. I was actually in Avengers Endgame, but the scene where I was filmed, it didn't get produced or whatever. And that was another thing I wanted to make a video about. Those who want to break into background acting. I don't have as much experience as a lot of people. A lot of people do this for a living. I mean, I'm just background acting. I'm not talking about regular acting. They do background acting as a career, and I wish I could, but I have a number of obligations here at my home that I have to take care of. So, I will make a video for those who have not done any acting so far and want to, what to expect, different stuff. What should they do ahead of time? What they can do to increase their chances of getting cast. Just different stuff. Of course, on my website, I have a website as well, www.KillaKrane I'm going to admit I need to update it because I've worked on, I work on several different projects at once. I never stop doing projects, but it's just me by myself. So sometimes I'll concentrate more on producing a work of fiction or whatever, and I forget to advertise it because that's, like I said, right now that's my main goal right now is just to produce a work of fiction to create worlds. And so I'll be like, oh, I didn't put that on the website. Oh, I didn't put it on my KillaKrane Productions page. Oh, I should have put it on my personal page. Oh, I should have, a lot of times if I make it on YouTube, I think, oh, I'll put that on there later. You know what I'm saying? So, always check up on this page. I try to keep this updated. The number one thing, if you want to see a piece of media which I have created, always start with YouTube. That's where I post my productions at. And then the second thing you can look at, of course, I have my personal Facebook page. I'm getting away from that with the production. I always post that immediately to my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, but I'm going to start posting a lot more to this page as well. So Facebook, so number one, YouTube, number two, Facebook, and number three would be my website. And so, of course, you can always send me a message on Facebook or whatever on YouTube. I love the questions that people bring to me. As of right now, I'm in the Atlanta metro area. If you want to be one of my actors or actresses, you don't necessarily have to stay here. Sometimes I travel. Sometimes we can, the beauty of technology nowadays, we can do a lot of stuff online. So we can work around that. I also created a voiceover type deal. It was a promo for my book, the Blackjack and the Beanstalk, right up there. And I created a voiceover thing for it. So I had a number of voice actors and actresses for that. I have another voiceover deal that's coming up with that Planet of Cats that I was telling you about and their religion and all that good stuff. I have a voiceover deal that's going to be done. I'm looking for an animator. So if you guys want to be an animator, you guys are hungry, you guys need exposure or something like that, I'm always working. I'm always doing something. You know what I'm saying? So you could get voiceover work that way. So just let me know, guys. I'm always, like I said, I'm always working on something. I never stop working on something. Even if I'm brainstorming an idea, about protagonist and antagonist, or, a piece of technology that we could be using in the future. There's tons of stuff. If there's something you guys want me to talk about, I will gladly talk about it with you guys. But if you guys got something that you would want me to work on, let me know. I think that's just about it. I didn't really advertise this. Like I said, I just switched it over from my personal account to my KillaKrane Productions account. So I'm not getting too much traffic right now. That can change because I will be promoting this page from now on. But it's kind of good that I don't have anybody that has dropped in live, because I really had a chance to kind of went freestyle and tell you guys a little bit about it. So this is just an intro thing. Promote this. People will know a lot more about who I am and what I have done. I am an actor, a producer, director, all kind of stuff. I first started, let me see, I guess I'll get a little bit of history about it. My first acting gig, there was a comic book convention. It was called the Mid-South Science Fiction and Fantasy Convention in Memphis, Tennessee. And my first exposure, I did several years in a row as a Jedi Knight, and I taught what I call Jedi self-defense. But it's basically self-defense, the regular self-defense. And I also taught people how to use a lightsaber and the different lightsaber forms that there are. This in the Star Wars universe. I even had them with like little foam balls, and we could deflect, like take the lightsaber and deflect the balls or what have you. And we had a great time. We had discussion forums there, and I did that until I left Memphis, Tennessee, and I moved to Atlanta metro area. And I started getting into background acting. And like I said, my first movie that I was in was Black Panther. The second one was, you know what, I don't even remember it. I know that it was, I think it's a Quentin Tarantino film, and he was honoring a fallen Vietnam veteran who never did get any recognition. He died in Vietnam, but he never did get his award or whatever. I forget the name of that one. And then the third one was about the Unabomber. I forget the name of it, but it was about the Unabomber, and you could only see my fat belly at the time. And then I did some Avengers films, and I was in Uncle Drew. If you guys, like I said, check out my IMDb page. Oh my God, I have so many scenes where I was. Well, it was one scene, but I was in a lot. You know, I think it's like 6 pictures I took of myself at 6, 7 different times. I was even in the end credits, and it was the coach that was talking to the main protagonist, and you could see me in the background just doing like this. I had on a yellow dashiki, so I wouldn't be that hard to find. What else have I done? So I've done a number of productions. I think it's over 22 if you count the TV shows and the movies together, and the little short films that I've done. I think it's over 22, 24 films that I've done. A lot of those short films didn't get produced, and that's one thing that I want to make clear to you guys. If I start something, I usually don't finish. I was in at least, I think, 3 short films by independent producers, and they never got produced, and I was so devastated. And I said if I ever started something, I would finish it. And that was a lot of times with the Legend of Gomorrah, which was my first production that I did. It cost me a lot of money. I did that totally out of pocket, totally out of love. It was just, it was a lot of stuff, a lot of people that I had to work with, which some of them were great. Some of them were over my head professionally. And I still had to work with them, and certain people were very unprofessional. But I still drove on, and I finished the production. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to leave my actors and actresses out there in the dust like some of the ones. And I'm not saying nothing against those producers either. They had a lot of personal problems. A lot of times they didn't look at the budget. You know what I'm saying? They miscalculated the budget, and they could no longer produce. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot of stuff that goes on behind. You guys just don't understand when you're producing a film or a TV show or whatever. I mean, if you're doing a little YouTube video and you got your cell phone or your webcam, a lot of times those are pretty cheap to make. But when you're doing a production in a movie with a script and 3-act structure and special effects and music and all these things, that's a lot of stuff that goes behind there. And even though I had to do, virtually in the end, I had to do everything myself. I had to edit it. I had to learn how to edit in a short amount of time. I had to learn how to color code. I had to do special effects. I had to do everything by myself without a crew. You know what I'm saying? So, still, I made it work because I love filmmaking. I love people who actually volunteer and help me out. So I'll go the extra mile for them. I just, you know, hopefully if I take a step forward, they take a step forward too. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Let's see, what else? That's pretty much it about me, my production company. I got my books coming out. One of them already been released. Like I said, Blackjack and the Beanstalk. It's about a former police detective turned conspiracy theorist. He now works for a prestigious advertising agency. And he has a lot of conspiracy theories that have been very problematic at his work. He doesn't wear a suit and tie. He wears traditional, I won't say dashiki, but a lot of earthly type clothing. A lot of the concoctions that he makes, it really smells, and it's becoming problematic. And he has this opportunity to do this big deal with another company, and he has to make the decisions, because if he keeps on the path that he's going during this, during this deal, is going to embarrass the company, and the company is on its last leg. The employees are doing really bad at their homes. And speaking of which, him and his wife his wife is really trying to tolerate everything and all these beliefs that he has and stuff like that. But her patience is wearing thin, and he has a friend from the police academy, and he comes to him and is like, I've heard that you're communicating with this individual on the street, and many people don't know if he actually exists, but he's a person of interest at the station, and his name is the Beanstalk, and he's been labeled as this tall, smooth, Snoop Dogg type character, and they don't know if he's dealing drugs or he's stealing stuff, but a lot of people have complained, and he's a person of interest, and anybody who's connected with it is also a person of interest. And Blackjack is associated, that's the guy's name, he's associated with the Beanstalk. And so Blackjack has a lot of decisions to make, what I'm saying, whether to quit these conspiracy theories. By the way, the Beanstalk is kind of influencing these alternative thoughts. So he knows something else is going on, and he feels like a lot of the actions in the the advertisement agency that he works, a lot of decisions seem really, really weird. And he's like, something else is going over here. Somebody else is pulling the strings around here. And things look just too systematically done. And things are just becoming too orchestrated. So he's trying to, figure out what's going on. He knows something else is going on. So he's trying to figure it all out. So that's Blackjack and the Beanstalk. The Cat Planet book, I told you about that. That's all I'm going to tell you about that. It's the planet of cats and their religion and their society and things they go through. When I actually get this fully edited and get it released, I'll let you guys know a little bit more about that. The Legend of Gomorrah is about a young man who comes from out of town. His town has been ravaged with political corruption. It's just been run down, and he has to move. And once he moves to a new town, he's pretty much automatically accepted. He makes a lot of friends. He does some community service. He's really looked up as a really good person. And all of a sudden, there's this terrorist, quote-unquote, and pay attention to quote-unquote, terrorist act that happens at a mall. And he steps in there like a superhero and kind of saves these people from getting shot or whatever. And he helps arrest some of the quote-unquote terrorists or whatever. Soon after that, people start noticing changes in him. And at the same time, coincidentally, there are a lot of psychiatrists that come from out of town into this town. And people notice, some really weird changes in him. And to make the matters worse, he starts telling people about his martial art instructor, because people are like, hey, that was some pretty good action scenes that you did right there. Where'd you learn all that stuff? And he starts telling them stories about his martial art instructor. And they're looking at him like, really? You know what I'm saying? Is this dude really going crazy? Telling all these stories. So, his name is Zenil York, by the way. And he's like, he's thinking to himself, I know these things actually happened. So he has to go on this journey, both mentally and physically, to find out what's facts from fiction and what's real from not real. And a lot of people are having these different visions around town since these psychiatrists shows up, and they're trying to figure out different stuff. And it's a lot going on, and he has several different friends that you guys will see in the short film, and they have a lot of issues going on. You know, you got one guy who was really smart in high school, and now he's labeled as this pretty boy who goes around womanizing and trying to act hip, but everybody sees that, you know, that's not him. Why is he acting this way? And you had another guy whose career was ruined because of some stuff that went on. He was a community leader as well, who led a lot of people on, you know, to start good stuff in the community, you know, stop from what they were doing. And all of a sudden something happened. I'm not going to say what it is, but something happened to the point where it ruined his reputation, and now he's going around like a pimp and a hustler and stuff like that. So you got that going on. You got their friends who have had some problems in the past, some skeletons in their closets, which they're trying to iron out. You got one of them who's like a spiritual leader, and she's really, she can sense different stuff. So I'm not saying you have to read the book, whether she has, you know, people say, well, she got powers, or what can she do? Well, you have to read the book, which I'm working on right now. Or, you know, if you guys want to help me to produce this series, give me some money to produce the series. You know what I'm saying? I accept donations. I have a PayPal account. All this money goes toward oh my God, it takes so much money. Just to produce the 3 episodes that I did for the Legend of Gomorrah, it cost me thousands. And I know that you guys will look at it and be like, what did those thousands go to? I mean, especially for a first-time producer, it's a lot of trial and error. And you're going to make a lot of mistakes and stuff like that. And like I said, I paid a lot of people, and in the end, I was like, I could do a better job than this, which I did. You know what I'm saying? So, if you guys want to donate, I do have a PayPal account. I'll put the link in the description. Probably not here on Facebook, but when I put this on YouTube. What else? That's pretty much it. If you guys ever want to have a discussion, I have Crane Talks every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We can discuss whatever you guys want to. Usually, I like to discuss films and TV shows and stuff like that. Everybody knows, I love 80s and 90s nostalgia. We don't have to talk about that. We could talk about, controversial issues. Somebody brought up a question that I've heard a lot of times. This is super controversial, and we don't have to talk about controversial stuff all the time, but they were talking about the LGBTQIA, and they were saying, like, from when I grew up, I've seen a fluctuation of different members of the LGBTQIA show up in films and TV shows, and he came up with this conspiracy theory, I guess, that this is a conspiracy to turn all people quote-unquote gay or something like that. So I wanted to address that. I set up a discussion forum. I had one person comment and one person watch. I was hoping that we could probably start that discussion forum again. If you guys want to talk about that, I mean, I can talk about anything you want to. One of the most successful ones is when I talk about 80s and 90s nostalgic stuff and just kind of freestyle it, you know what I'm saying? And I had one meme which I put on there, you know, it was about the different tier. You know how people have top tier and second tier and third tier, and they had all these TV shows, and you know, at the top they had like the Fresh Prince and Cosby Show, and then they had like Martin down here, and then they had Seinfeld, then they had something else. And so we had discussions like that. We can talk about video games, or I used to have discussion forums, like I said, at the comic book conventions, intellectual conversations. You know, we talked about religion and spirituality, and not particularly religious myself, but I'm just saying we just kind of talked about other stuff, science and the possibility of different stuff in the future, UFOs. I mean, whatever you guys want to talk about. Excuse me, guys. I've had a quote-unquote UFO experience myself. I created a video on YouTube. I have a picture of it. The quote-unquote possible UFO that I saw. And my whole point of that was to get an analysis from different people over if you guys think it was a UFO or could have been something else. Like I said, there's a picture attached. It's on my YouTube channel. It's actually on my Mid-South Intellectual Endeavors. I think I changed the name to Vinaris, just being Vinaris. I want to do something a little bit more, lenient or, a little bit more relaxing than intellectual discussions. So YouTube on Fridays, I'm going to have my videos, which I post, and I'm going to do more random postings. You know what I'm saying? Just talk about just anything. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep the production going. You guys be lenient on me if you can. I'm just one person doing everything. So if you guys be like, well, you haven't done this and you haven't done that, well, keep in mind I don't have a crew at all right now. If you guys want to join my crew or volunteer, I would appreciate any help that I can. I emphasize the term volunteer. I'm not saying it's going to stay volunteer. Once we bring up a little notoriety, a little popularity, what I'm saying, we can do something. What I'm saying, we can work something out monetary wise. But as of right now, I just need some people who love filmmaking, who want to have fun or just want to make friends. What I'm saying, want to quote unquote get out the house, which doesn't mean you have to physically meet up somewhere. What I'm saying, we could do everything online. What I'm saying. So I don't know if you guys want to test your skill. If you've been saying, hey, I want to be an animator or a voiceover actor, I need something to keep my feet wet and just practice on. Hey, I'm the man for you. I'm learning just like you guys are learning. So just let me know. You guys can always shoot me an email as well. How do I forget the email address? It's KillaKraneProductions@gmail.com. That's KillaKrane Productions@gmail.com or info at KillaKraneProductions.com. That's the one associated to my website. I'm always checking my Gmail account. The info one, it's rarely ever. I check it every now and then, but I get alerts on the Gmail one. And so I check the info one probably twice a week or something like that. So the Gmail, you get the fastest response. The info one, it's probably going to be a while. Like I said, like once a week or twice a week or something like that. I appreciate those who are watching, and I appreciate it. I'm going to end this. Usually, Crane Talks usually last for about an hour. So if you guys aren't able to come in at 7 o'clock, that's fine. I usually stay on for at least 30 minutes. And I give it at least 30 minutes. I try to stay on for the whole hour. But 30 minutes to kind of just talk about the main subject of what I wanted to talk about. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Please message me, guys. Alright, y'all take it easy. Like I said, once again, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called KillaKrane Productions on YouTube. Like all my videos, send me an email at info@KillaKraneProductions.com. Sorry. Or KillaKraneProductions@gmail.com, which is the main one. Send me a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. I think that's about it. Alright guys, take it easy.